Now we're going to be discussing the pop-up irrigation heads that we use below ground. This is a Hunter Pro Spray. This is the most common type that we use for small areas. This can reach an area from up to 15 feet down to about 4 feet in diameter. So it's typically used in beds or along narrow passageways. Looking inside, you've got a spring-loaded adjustment in there. The water comes in through there, pushes the head up, which causes it to raise above the ground. Once the water pressure is cut off, it retracts below ground. It's got 2 wiper seals on there, keeps the water from escaping on there, and also keeps dirt and debris out. Put the cap back on. You've got 2 points of water connection on this. The first one is on the side, the second one is on the bottom. You can use either one, it just depends on what your application is. Sometimes if you're in a shallow situation, you'll want to use the one on the side, which you would just go and remove the plug using a screwdriver or some other kind of flat blade. And then you would take the plug and put it in the bottom. Now, because of the type of plastic that these are made with, you do not have to use any kind of pipe dope or tape or sealant on these. You can actually break them if you do that. Excuse me. Okay. All the heads come with this straight from the factory. All this is just a cap with a ring on it that allows you to pull it up to make adjustments on there if you need to. It also has a little hole that's opened up on the side of it that allows water to escape, so if you need to test run the system, make sure everything's working, you can do so before you put the sprinkler heads on. But also the opening is large enough to allow most kinds of debris to come out and clean the lines out. When you're ready to put the nozzle on, you just pull it up, hold it steady, take that off, it unscrews. First, you'll want to put in the screen. This prevents debris from getting inside the nozzle and clogging it, and you can clean these when you need to. You can just remove it, take the debris and rub it off or tap it off. You put the appropriate size nozzle that you want on there, and then it's set. Now, every nozzle is a little different, depends on what you need. This particular Hunter nozzle is an adjustable arc. It's a 10-foot radius spray on there. It's got a nozzle on here that can be adjusted. Right here is the opening. You can open it up for a very narrow arc that you want to spray out, which will spray out about approximately 10 feet. Or you can open it up all the way, or anywhere in between. And that goes to 360 degrees and allows the water to come out. The more you open it up, the more water that's going to come out in terms of gallons per minute, and it's going to cover a bigger area. You can adjust it anywhere you need it in there. Now, if your nozzle is not facing the right direction when you've got it buried, you can pick these up, get it up to where you can get a good grip on it, and you can actually rotate it with the clicks where you need it to be. And then let it back down. When we're putting these things together, we do not put them together directly to the PVC pipe. You have to use some type of flexible pipe on there. Use this type of nozzle, which then screws into the side. It's a 1/2-inch thread pipe fitting. Again, you do not want to use any kind of tape or sealant or glue or anything. It just screws directly in, it'll seal itself. Now when you're mounting it below ground, you would probably have this nozzle sticking out sideways like that at a 90-degree angle. You'll notice that on here there's like a screw type barb on there and then a regular barb on the side. That allows you to take the flex pipe and you just push it on there. Sometimes you have to warm this stuff up. You can actually, if it's a hot day, you can lay it out on the ground for a while, let the sun warm it up. If it's cold, you can put it on the hood of your engine or on the hood of the truck engine, let it warm up the pipe a little bit so it's more flexible. But you just push it and screw it in at the same time until it's all the way on, and totally covering the barbs and all the way up to the fitting. Now what this does, this type of pipe has a flexibility on there. It allows you, first of all, to get the pipe set at the right height, or the head set at the right height. So if this were the ground, you could have it set at the height that you want it to be. You can make any kind of adjustment you need to. Another thing is if someone were to run over it with a car, like alongside a driveway, it does provide some kind of give and allows the pipe to survive and the head to likely to survive any kind of impact. This is the Hunter i20 rotor head. It's fully adjustable, very durable, lasts a long time, and is used for covering large areas, usually out in lawns or in very large beds. You have several adjustments on top. The first adjustment is your arc adjustment, which affects how far around it'll rotate. In this case, it's set for 360 degrees. You've also got an adjustment here in the middle, which controls your rate of flow. That's used typically if you need to bring the spray in a little bit, if it's getting too close to a driveway or to a building. You can make fine-tuning adjustments on there. Additionally, there's also a screw underneath the cap here where the nozzle is that allows you to make fine-tuning adjustments if you need to, or maybe a little more crude adjustments with the screw that's in there, which can interrupt the flow of water coming out. It also serves to hold the sprinkler nozzle in place. Right here, this is a place where you can go and put in the tool, which is here. You just slip it right into place, turn it, and when the head's below ground, that allows you to pull it up so you can have access to it. When you're adjusting the arc, put this in like so. Turning it counterclockwise decreases the arc, so I can turn it all the way until it stops, which is there. Now, it has a very narrow arc now. If I want more of an arc, put it in, turn it clockwise. I have a little bit more play in there now. And if I want to adjust the rate of flow, they're set from the factory at 100%, but if you need to, you can turn it down just a little bit. You want to make small adjustments in there. And then if you need to adjust the nozzle screw, you would push in the hex-shaped key part inside, and you can turn it as you need to adjust it. Taking it apart, you got a spring-loaded adjustment in there. There's also a valve inside, spring-loaded. And that's where your nozzle will go in. You're going to have a selection of different nozzle trees. Now each nozzle has a number on there. That refers to the number of gallons per minute. This one's 4.5. This one's 8, sorry. This one's 8 gallons per minute. This one's 3 gallons per minute. The LA that's on here refers to low angle. You would use these in situations where there's going to be a lot of wind, or if you need to keep the angle of the spray coming down a little lower. It won't spray out as far, but it also won't have as much drift from the wind. Take the appropriate size nozzle off that you need. Take the top of the nozzle, push it in firmly. and let the screw down. That'll hold the nozzle in place. If you need to make more of an adjustment on there for the spray that's coming out too far, you can push this down more so that it gets into the stream and interrupts it. But in most cases, you want to just leave it alone until you actually know that you need to. There's only one water connection on these. It's on the bottom. It's a 3/4 inch. You would take your barb. You do not want to connect these directly to PVC pipe unless in some cases you're doing it above ground. But if you're using it below ground, you want to use one of these nozzles, one of these fittings. Don't put any tape on here. Don't put any pipe dope or glue or primer or anything. Just put it in as it is. Take your funny pipe, holding it firmly. Again, you might want to warm this up in the sun or putting it on top of your engine of your truck. Twisting it as you push it until it's all the way on. And this gives you a flexible connection on there. You can adjust it anywhere you need to underground. Sometimes once you put it in the ground, you're going to find that the nozzle is not exactly adjusted where you need it to be. Obviously, part of what you can do is to adjust it by adjusting the arc on there. That's where your water's coming out. But if it's still not right, what you do is you hold the base of it, unscrew it, lift it up, and move it where you need it to be. You can turn the entire thing. You have to lift it up first though. Once you set it back down, it locks back into place. And you move the whole thing over. You might have to do this a few times to get it right.